And up next, we got an awesome fight between Tofiq Musyaev and Myktybek Oralbai. You look at Oralbai, he had his 8-fight win streak snapped in October. He lost to Mateusz Rebecki, and he had been 2-0 in the UFC, and he was a pretty big favorite to beat Rebecki, but Rebecki's underrated, and he surprised, defeated Oralbai, and Oralbai is only 27, so he has the potential to bounce back, and this is going to be his chance to do that, but you knew the UFC had to have at least one local Azerbaijan fighter on the card, and with this being the first foray into the country, they got a good guy to represent them with Tofiq Musyaev. Musyaev is a fighter who was born and trained out of Azerbaijan for a long time during his career. I think now he's training in Thailand. I believe he's been at Tiger Muay Thai for this camp, but he's older. He's 35, but he's already had 27 fights. He's 22-5. He's fought for major promotions. He won the belt in Ryzen. So if he can get a couple wins together, I think the UFC will move him up quickly. He hasn't fought since 2023, so that's concerning, but hopefully he is, going to come in and can reel off some fights. I know he was going to fight for GFL, and I think UFC offered him a contract, and he turned it down because GFL was offering him more money. So hopefully, he's 100% still, thinking he could be the best. Cause that's kind of a red flag for me that you would turn on the UFC for GFL. But hey, he made his way back to the UFC now, and we'll see what he does. But Musyaev is a knockout artist. He has 22 wins, 18 of them are knockouts. And in fights where he hasn't gotten the finish with strikes, he's 4-5. So he tends to be low volume. If he can't find the counter and knock his opponent out, fights can be close. But he actually hasn't lost a decision since 2014 and has only been in 2 decisions in the last 10 years. So usually his fights end before a final bell, but he's an elite counter striker, amazing speed, really good distance control. He likes to stay at the edge of range, fake, feint, and then pull fighters in across his hooks. He has nice kicks. He has excellent accuracy, speed, super patient, clean guy. And he's also really violent. He's willing to exchange in the pocket. He has some brutal knockout wins. And trading with Musyaev, that's borderline idiotic. Unless you can point fight from the outside for 15 minutes, getting close to him and smothering him, that's probably going to be the smart thing to do. And to fight Tofiq, he hasn't really been taken down in any recent fights, and he's defended some half-hearted takedowns in his last couple fights. He was also able to control on top after he dropped his opponent in one of his recent fights, but it's hard to say much. In his fight with Roberto de Souza, he defended a takedown, but de Souza was able to get a triangle off of his back. And Roberto de Souza, though, he's known for having one of the best triangles in the sport. Kind of low fight IQ for Musyaev to be in his guard, but I just don't see, Oralbai submitting him like that. But Tofiq, tough guy to finish. He's only been stopped via strikes one time, and that was kind of controversial. He fought Alexander Shabley in March of 2023 and got hit with a body kick that looked like it could have ricocheted into the cup, but Jason Herzog, he wanted to restart the fight after he saw the replay, and Musyaev wasn't ready to go, and so it became a TKO loss for him. But Musyaev, he's been submitted 3 times, but 2 of those submissions were over 10 years ago, and then he had the submission to Roberto de Souza. So since 2015, Musyaev is 18-2 and looking really good, but you look at Oralbai, strong, relentless wrestler. The guy's an iron chin. If he gets you against the fence, he's going to get in on your legs. He's going to manhandle you, mat return you, slam you. And he uses his wrestling to grind fighters down, take their will, and then he'll finish you with ground and pound. Heavy top pressure. He did get reversed a couple times in his fight with Elvis Brenner, but he was able to show his scrambling ability. Didn't get held down for long. And he's proven in his last 2 fights he can go to war, and he's a tough guy. And his stand-up is serviceable. He does have good balance. I think he has good power in his hands. And he needs to get better with,
using the threat of the wrestling to open up his striking. I think now he's more like one track minded. When he strikes, he strikes. When he wrestles, he wrestles. But if he can land his hands, he can't hurt you. And he throws nice 2-3s, 3-2s. He's not like a stiff guy. He's pretty sharp. And his cardio is elite too. He's relentless. He's durable. And I see this is a pretty binary fight, though. I think Oralbai has to get it to the ground, stay on top, do damage, and melt Musyaev. Musyaev is going to need to use his distance control, technical striking, and whoever can implement their game plan, I think, should dominate. Oralbai could get chin, but he's going to be more active. He's the better wrestler. Maybe he can start to wear on Musyaev and break the older fighter. But you have to imagine Musyaev is going to be turned up and amped to fight his home country. I think he needs to work the legs and body of Oralbai and then eventually go to the head. Oralbai, I think he should try to push the pace hard and hope Musyaev slows down so he can land something big and turn the tide, or get Musyaev against the fence and wrestle. I think if Musyaev comes back sharp, he can get the knockout win or win clean via decision. Oralbai is ultra tough, but I don't know if he could survive 3 rounds with Musyaev. So ultimately, I am predicting a Musyaev win. So I'm going to say he wins via second round knockout in this fight.